In this video, I'm going to show you how I make my own custom video backgrounds for worship. My name is Jake Goslin with Churchfront.com, an online resource for worship leaders and creatives. Make sure you subscribe to the Churchfront channel and hit that notification bell so you will instantly receive all of our latest content to help you grow yourself and grow your church. In this video, I'm going to show you my whole process from beginning to end of creating my own homemade motion video backgrounds for worship. And I'm not talking about the abstract video backgrounds that you can buy pretty much anywhere on the internet. I'm talking about real high quality footage that looks amazing and just complements visually what's going on during the worship service. Before you keep watching the rest of this video, let me know in the comments right now, what type of worship backgrounds do you use in your church? Do you use any backgrounds at all? Do you use still images? Do you use those abstract motion backgrounds that you'll find pretty much anywhere on the internet? Just let me know in the comments below, and without further ado, here's my whole process of creating my own worship video backgrounds. Oh, and by the way, make sure you watch to the very end because I have a special gift for you. It is 4:20 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday in January. It's a little cold outside. I am going to hopefully be able to capture some great footage today I can use for my worship backgrounds. Not a huge fan of motion backgrounds and the ones that you find online. Most stock footage is too expensive, so I need to make my own. Gonna stop at Dunkin' Donuts, but they're not even open yet, which makes sense because it's like 4:30 now, so I'll have to do this not caffeinated. Part of the reason I had to wake up so early is because I had to come to my office to get my gear. Tripod here, and then for cameras I shoot on the GH5 Panasonic Lumix GH5. So got some cameras, lenses, cards, got my Phantom 4 Pro, hopefully get some aerial footage. I got my Zhiyun crane, this is for stabilizing the camera. Alright, I think I got everything I need back in the car. Last thing I need though, I do need coffee. I really don't think I'm gonna be able to do this without some caffeine and probably get like a Cliff Bar or something like that. So next stop, gas station. Looks like I'm on schedule, got my coffee, and thanks to this Circle K, I forgot it's like right across the street from my office, open 24/7. Now all I have to do is drive up to the mountains and get some footage. Hopefully the weather's gonna be ideal. I think it's going to be. It's gonna be partly cloudy, hopefully not too cloudy, and we'll get some awesome sunrise shots on the way up. It's about an hour drive, so I think I'll listen to a podcast.
Thomas 23 and wanted to go to crash.
Okay, it is 6:04 a.m. As you can tell, it is still pitch black outside. I actually have like another hour probably till sunrise, but I just want to get up here early because when it does start to get light, I'm going to start walking around, seeing where I want to film. Temperature is 25 degrees out, which is great. It's not as cold as I thought it would be, and it's a little windy, so we'll see. I'm not sure if the drone will be a good idea. I want to make sure I can retrieve my drone and it doesn't get blown away up here on top of Loveland Pass. And we just need some light at this point. So I went on a little scouting mission, which means I just took like 10 minutes to walk outside. It's starting to get light out, as you can tell. It's really windy, so I don't know, it's not looking favorable to fly a drone around here. Maybe it'll stop once the sun gets up. It won't be as bad, but still, I think it's gonna be beautiful though. I definitely underestimated how cold it would be. I got good shots so far, but I had to get back in the car to warm up because my fingers are about to fall off. I think I found a good spot to fly a drone. Doesn't feel too windy over here. So I'm gonna fly it down this valley that's behind me. Get some good tree shots in there, get the mountain. I think it's really ideal. Alright, I'm really glad that plan worked to come down here and get where there's less wind, and in this nice valley I was able to get some sick aerial shots, get some shots of the trees, got some lower in the valley, some higher. Right there, I think those are some great backgrounds to work with. So yeah, I'm just so glad I get to use my drone today and I didn't come all the way up here just to freeze my butt off and only be able to shoot from the ground. I actually went back to the summit of the pass, or the top of the pass, and the wind died down and the light was getting nice. Yes, the clouds are kind of going away, but I kind of like the cloudiness because I feel like it helps keep things not so bright. With snow out here, I don't want it super blown out and everything just should be super white. So I kind of like how the cloudiness has tone things down. But I get some sick shots flying over like the summit of these mountains. It's just like incredible. So my fingers are like numb now after running my remote controller outside for however long that was, like 10 minutes. But I was really impressed with my DJI Phantom 4 Pro. Like the battery, man, even when it's this cold, that battery holds up for such a long time. Like I must have just flown it for a couple miles around here to get those shots. So I can't wait to edit these. Alright, just had a quick stop at the mini mart to get some snacks, getting hangry, and then I'm on my way back down the mountains. It's 10:32 a.m. So yeah, been a 6-hour day so far. Now I just gotta unpack my gear, offload the media that I captured, and then I'll hop behind my computer and we'll take a look at what we got. Okay, so I've loaded all of the raw footage from my camera cards onto the external hard drive. There's a bunch of footage. It's gigabytes and gigabytes worth of the footage. But then after I get it on the hard drive, I created a new library in Final Cut Pro X, which you can see here. And then in Final Cut Pro X, I imported all of the raw media from the shoot. And then from there, I went through and favorited all my favorite clips here. So I can kind of skim through and see all my favorites and scrub through them. And once I went through and really picked out all the favorite ones, I go through and I make a project for each clip. So for example, I'll go to the first one I made. This is the one where the camera was stationary on the tripod for about 10 minutes, I think. And I just recorded this at 24 frames a second, or basically in real time. And what I did is for this video, as I play it here, you'll see the clouds are moving pretty fast. That's because I'm speeding the video up about 3 times. And this makes a cool background because you have some movement even though the camera is staying still. And also went through and did some grading. So here's like what it looks like straight from the camera, it looks like this. It's a very flat picture profile. It's because I'm shooting in Vlog on the GH5. But when I add Film Convert Pro, it just brings out the color, the contrast. It's a really beautiful image. I love it. I think this is going to be a really great background image to use. And then you'll notice too, when I edit, I try to make it so these could be looping backgrounds, because I want to be able to throw these in ProPresenter, and as soon as that background is queued up in ProPresenter, I want it to be able to just continue to loop in the background smoothly in a non-distracting way. So what I did is, you can see here, I actually, there's this random little transition and extra clip on the end, and it looks strange, but what happened is I dragged this section of this clip here. This was from the beginning, so I lopped off like the first 5 seconds of the video. I dragged it to the end. It transitioned slowly from the end of the clip. You can see how it went from bright to now dark because the sun was rising. So it went from the brighter sunlight to now we're at the beginning of the video clip. And then it's going to stop about 5 seconds into the beginning of the video clip. But in ProPresenter, it's going to loop back to the beginning of this actual video file, which is it's just gonna make it seamless. So I don't know if that makes sense the way I just explained it, but when I'm making footage backgrounds for worship, I want to make sure that they can loop nice and smoothly, just like you would if you're using these abstract motion backgrounds. Let me just show you another one. This is one of the aerial shots. Again, so here's with the grade. Without the grade, you can just notice there's a lot less saturation and color and contrast, so that really brings out the color. And then this one's just a nice slow drone going over that tree line. And then you'll notice towards the end I have the transition. Again, it just makes it so these clips can loop very easily. And then I'll show you one of the ones that I made from the ice shoot. So here's the kind of an abstract shot of ice where I just was going over the ice, and I did it in slow-mo, so it brought down the speed of the movement. Almost wish I would have moved a little bit slower, but I think it's good. And then again, same thing, the transition at the end. This one color-wise, just cooled it down. That's about it. So yeah, you can see kind of what I do to the footage once I get it into Final Cut Pro X, and then it's ready for exporting. Another important step in this process of creating background footage is the exporting process. So I wanted to export these videos from Final Cut Pro X through Compressor, which is Apple's video compression software. I wanted to export it in such a way that the files will be small, manageable, wouldn't take up too much space on the computer. At the same time, they had high enough quality to still be 1080, still look good on large projection screens in churches. And I think I found the right settings to get me that smallest size but not degrade quality too much. It's not, of course, it's not going to be 4K quality like what I shot originally, but those are multiple gigabyte files. Like each of those background videos straight from my drone or from my GH5 are multiple gigabytes each. So that'd be just way too much footage to work with as you're putting in backgrounds to ProPresenter. So you'll see here, most of these backgrounds are less than 100 megabytes, which is great. It'll be easy to manage those files, throw them into ProPresenter and use them. And I was really happy with how this came out. And I ended up with a total of 20 looping background videos. So this whole process from beginning to end took me 6 hours to get up, get my gear, go up to the mountain, shoot the footage, and then come back down, and then probably another 4 or so hours to go through all the footage, edit it the way I wanted to, and then even export it. But I'm really happy with the outcome, and I have all sorts of great background footage to use in worship. Now I want to show you what these backgrounds look like in ProPresenter. I'm really happy with the final product here. So I just have the lyrics for This I Believe, and you'll see I already have one of the backgrounds going. This is that long one that I sped up, and you have the nice cloud movement in the background. I love it. And there's a few ways I prefer when it comes to just the design and the layout of my ProPresenter slides. I like putting 2 lines of text on a slide. I usually use Ableton to automate this, which makes it pretty easy to make sure the right lyrics are always up at the right time. And then you also notice I put the little black box behind the white text. So that's just so it's easy to read for the congregation. It's also, I think it looks cool from a design standpoint as well. Another option though is if you put if you don't want the black box, is to just put a black square or rectangle that takes up the whole slide in the background, and then just reduce the opacity to like 50%, so then that just dims out the background. So this way you can have those white letters without a black box behind them, but it's still legible. So important to just find whatever works for you, find whatever's legible for your congregation. I like it this way because the video can really be as bright as it should be, and it look the way it should be. And I don't think it looks that bad having the black box in the background. But yeah, I'll show you a couple of these examples of some of this footage. So these are the longer ones that are just kind of like sitting on the tripod. I like this one because you can see this little hiker guy right here walking up the hill, and it's cool and it's subtle. I don't even know if people will ever notice that because this almost looks like just a still background, but I think it's kind of neat to have a guy just hiking up the mountain like that. So and then here's some drone footage. Again, you can read it because of the black box. If I wanted to go down here to the other arrangement, I would just do like this, and you can read it this way. But it's just a little bit, the video's not as vibrant that way. So that's why I prefer this arrangement. It's not that hard to do. You just make this template in ProPresenter. And then let's throw a couple of these. Look at the trees. It's pretty epic. And just to show you how these will loop, let's find one. Let's do this video. This one's kind of a more drastic change from the beginning to end of clip. So I want you to see this loop. So right here, this is pretty short, one of the shorter clips. But you're going to see, I'm going to start doing a slow fade right there. So just like a very slow, like 4-second transition. And then when ProPresenter loops, it looks seamless. You didn't even see the difference from the end right here to the beginning. So that's what I mean. That's why I edited them the way they did, because if you're using ProPresenter, you can have that slow fade from beginning to end, and you can use this as a looping background. So that concludes my process of creating video backgrounds for worship. As you can see, it's not rocket science, but it's hard work to get up early in the morning, travel to whatever location you're gonna go to capture footage, and then do the editing afterward. And even though the video production gear I have is relatively affordable, I know it's tough for a lot of churches and a lot of you guys out there to be able to go just buy a bunch of camera gear to start making your own video backgrounds. So that's why I'm gonna give away these 20 looping motion video backgrounds that you just saw me make in this video. You heard me correctly. You can download all 20 of these videos and start using them in ProPresenter for your worship services today. All you need to do is click the link at the bottom of this video, complete the form, and I'll instantly send you access to these free background videos. So after watching this video, I hope you have two main takeaways. One, I hope you have an idea of what the process looks like to create your own video backgrounds, and maybe you'll be able to give it a try in the near future. And takeaway number two, I hope you download those free backgrounds which you just saw me create. And please make sure you share those backgrounds with other worship leaders who may find them useful for their ministry. Don't forget to subscribe to the Churchfront channel because you'll continue to receive tutorial videos like this as well as free giveaways. Share this channel with all your friends in ministry and hit that thumbs up button if you found this video helpful.